Noche UFC is going down in Las Vegas this weekend, and I'm pumped to see who comes out on top. I've partnered up with DraftKings, and they got an offer that is perfect if you're looking to get closer to the action. Right now, all new customers that bet just $5 will instantly get $250 in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. When you sign up, use my promo code SONNEN. DraftKings, the crown is yours. That's $250 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. Staying on the action and use your $250 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun at DraftKings with daily fantasy and have a shot at all the prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. New customers, use my promo code SONNEN. Bet just $5 and get $250 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code SONNEN only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Brian Ortega, Diego Lopes. This thing is so wildly interesting. Talk about a backstory, by the way. You know how helpful that is? You know how much you would hate that as a promoter to have that happen to you often, but by the way, what a helpful thing when you promise the world a fight and then all of a sudden you take it away. But it's not being promoted, guys. Why is that? I'm just asking a question. I'm making an observation. I'm asking you guys a question. Why is that being promoted? Like, this is one of the most sought-after fights in a period of time. Could I say all of 2024? Short-term memory? Short-term memory with a little bit of exaggeration? Yeah, it's one of them. Absolutely it is. In fact, there was even other plans. When everything fell apart, was it 302? International Fight Weekend, June 29th. Was that 302? That might have been 303. But when everything fell apart, they discussed keeping Brian Ortega at 155 pounds and matching him up with Charles Oliveira. And I loved it. I thought, wow, what a great fight. What an interesting fight. There would also be a punishment involved, right? There would also be a punishment of, hey, you missed weight. You missed that card. So these thoughts happened. And Dana had made a commitment that night, the night of June 29th, regarding Dan Ige and regarding Diego Lopes. And that was they both want to fight on the Sphere card. You got it. They're fighting. He made that comment, and a lot of media, and in all fairness, or defense to the media, that's pretty easy to hear that those guys are going to rematch, give Ige a full camp, and that those two guys are going to rematch. That is kind of easy to hear. It's not what I heard. It is not the tone that I thought was said in that moment, and it proved out that I heard it more accurately. All that Dana was committing to was that Dan Ige and Lopes could both be part of that card. Nothing to do with getting these guys together. But that direction was then considered too, because you, the fans, thought you'd been promised it. The media came out and told you you'd been promised it. So it took a couple different directions. That's all I'm sharing with you. It took a couple of different turns before it came back to 145, and the match that wasn't is now going to be. This time, Diego is a 2-1 favorite. It touched on 2.5. Touched on 2.5. He went down right this second. 2-1 favorite over my partner's DraftKings. That's fine. I'm fine with that. I just will remind you that the week of June 29th, Diego Lopes was an underdog. So, Diego hasn't fought Brian. Brian didn't fight and lose. So you don't generally lose standing. It's going to be at the same weight class. Lopes did show some real resolve and an ability to get on with the show at all costs. Is that enough to change your opinion who's going to win? I mean, these guys have done nothing. There was no illness. There was no injury. There was something with the scale, quite frankly. It's been kept real quiet. Is that really enough? Do you think you now have good value perhaps coming in? Maybe go over to DraftKings, beat them at their own game. And the reason that the odds have shifted, and I understand this, believe me I do, because I feel it as well. Lopes did not make weight for a reason. I apologize. Ortega did not make weight for a reason. It's calories in versus calories out. He either did not train hard enough or he ate too much. Both, or either would speak to a lack of discipline. So when you have a guy like Ortega has used a weapon, an intangible weapon on every opponent not named Max Holloway, and that is pressure. Ortega will outwork you. He will make you quit. People sit at home and go, oh, how impressed they are with the way he moves and his skills and his techniques. His skills and his techniques and the way he moves is nothing unusual from the other 22 athletes that fight on the same card he does each time. The fact that he can throw that ball against the board so many times to see what will go in, right? It's the same intangible that Merab has. But you only get that through hard work and dedication. That level of pace, that kind of a gas tank is a byproduct of absolute focus and dedication. I never say I'm training unless I'm training. That's one of the many words in my life that's been corrupted. Like what a fighter is has been completely corrupted. Or you get the weird vernacular in our industry. Let's run it back. Share the octagon with. Drag him into the deep waters. Like there's this vernacular that follows the sport around. But I will never give in on training. There is a difference between exercise. There's a difference in practice. And there's a significant difference in training. When you're training, you eat, sleep, and breathe. There is no part of the day when the action that you're doing is not part of the preparation for the competition. And you can't train, you can't live life like that long. 8 to 10 weeks. I know other guys, they go and they come back and we went and did something in a matted area and they got their shirt a little bit sweaty and they think that they trained. That's not training. That's exercising. That's practice. And I share these terms with you because for Ortega to be able to bring out that weapon, I don't believe that Ortega is going to go out and submit Lopes. I don't believe he's going to want to stand up on his feet with Lopes overly long. I also don't know how great Lopes is. It turns out he's better than I was aware. What he did to Ige, even though he was fading and getting tired, people didn't give Lopes any understanding. They don't understand that he changed weights 3 times in 48 hours. He got down to 145 pounds at 3 in the morning when he received the phone call that the weight was going to be at 155, of which he agreed to, got up at 9 and weighed in at 155, only for the following day at 6 p.m. to change that weight class to 165 pounds. Yeah, you're going to get a little fatigued out there. Sure you are. But it is also one of these things. I don't think that Lopes can submit Ortega. In fact, I think that's a very silly notion. So now can he knock him out? Well, he's knocked out a lot of other guys. But Brian Ortega does appear to be different. He's got that Diaz in him, right? He is going to get up. He is a proud Mexican fighter, which is why he's going to be on display as part of this card in the first place. Will he still have the intangible? And that intangible comes from having the eye of the tiger, and there is a very bizarre feel around this contest. There's a bizarre feel because nobody's covering the contest. People are not talking about it. People are not getting you hyped up about it. That's very peculiar. Is it one of those things where they had their shot? Does somebody feel that they know something? Did one of the two, as far as the media goes, say, hey, well, we're buckling down. We're putting our head down. We're staying focused. Don't even call us. That could have also happened. Either way, my observation and the phenomenon are true. This is one of the great fights of 2024. This is the most underpromoted fight of 2024.